For this debate, I am taking side with the environmental considerations must take precedent over economic developmental considerations because of the use of burning fossil fuels, the use of harmful pesticides, and the growing overpopulation of transportation are negatively affecting our environment, creating a more harmful place to live every day. My first point is we need to decrease the amount of burning fossil fuels because it increases the emission of carbon dioxide, which is the leading source of climate-changing greenhouse gases. This increase in greenhouse gas emissions precipitates global climate change, resulting in persistent drought, flooding in low-lying areas, and a significant rise in the sea level. Burning fossil fuels has three main environmental effects: in the water, land, and global warming, like I previously mentioned. When oil and gas are extracted from mining and drilling, water that has been trapped is brought to the surface, and it can carry with it naturally occurring dissolved solids, heavy metals, and radioactive materials that make it unsuitable for us to consume, and it is difficult to dispose of safely. A large amount of land is distributed by the drilling wells, roads, facilities, and pipelines associated with the drilling operations. This can also harm the wildlife around these wells. The full global warming impact of natural gases also includes methane emissions from drilling the wells and the transportation of pipelines. My next point is we need to find a different and less harmful solution to pesticides. Despite their agricultural and safety, pesticides can also have a negative impact on our health. According to the article GMOs and Pesticides, Harmful or Helpful, by Jennifer Hoseo, a PhD candidate at Harvard University, many conventional pesticides are synthetic materials that kill or inactivate the pest directly. These pesticides can lead to diabetes, cancer, and neurological defects. Pesticide-producing crops also have a tendency to contaminate nearby water, affecting aquatic life. According to the Institute for Responsible Technology, pesticides harm beneficial insects, and it has been found that previously insignificant insects, which are not targeted by the general modification varieties, develop into pests. Then, pesticide spraying resumes on top of the potential buildup of the extra strong Bt toxin in the soil. Some pesticides accumulate in water systems, pollute the air, and in some cases have other dramatic environmental effects. It can also damage agricultural land by harming beneficial insects, soil microorganisms, and worms, which naturally limit pest populations and maintain soil health. My last point is the more populated the world becomes, the more the use of transportation increases, creating more and more pollution into the air we breathe, our water, and our soil. The environmental impact of transportation is significant because it is a major use of energy and burns most of the world's petroleum. This creates air pollution and is also a contributor to global warming through emission carbon dioxide. All of this air pollution can have harmful effects on our health of our population. Toxic air pollutants are associated with cancer, cardiovascular, respiratory, and neurological diseases. Nitrogen dioxide emissions from transportation reduces lung function, affects the respiratory immune defense system, and increases the risk of respiratory problems. There has been recently a demand for maritime shipping, which is affecting water quality arising from dredging, waste, and oil spills. Waste generated by operations of sea vessels, or ports cause serious environmental problems since they contain a very high level of bacteria that can be hazardous for our public health as well as our marine ecosystems. The environmental impact of transportation on soil quality is mostly soil erosion and soil contamination. Soil contamination can occur through the use of toxic materials by the transport industry. Fuel and oil spills from cars are washed on roadsides and enter the soil. My three main points of economic developmental considerations prove that they are damaging our environment along with our health and should not take precedent over important environmental considerations.